The King of Price Way, and we do service the King of Price Way.
King of Price, Randy Mary and Statesville.com.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. There is a chance of showers as you head through the evening tonight, 30% chance through the overnight hours. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with a low around 51 degrees. Should be a nice weekend starting with Saturday. Sunny skies and a high temperature in the afternoon, getting up near 68 degrees. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. All right, everyone. We are back here on the scoreboard. WSIC 105.9, 100.7 FM. Facebook Live, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn. That's where you can find our video stream. And on our website, WSICnews.com. Lots of things to get into today. We had football last night and many injuries coming out of it. Hopefully, we don't see the same thing this weekend with these NFL games. And hopefully we don't see the same thing when it comes to high school football. Going on today, more playoff games starting tonight. We're getting down into the final few rounds of high school football this year. We have the third round of the playoffs coming up, and we've talked about it significantly here over the past couple of weeks. No teams that we've been covering daily here still in the high school tournament, but there are some local teams that are still in it. Number one, Huff High School is still in the tournament for their division, as they are a 4 seed taking on a 5 seed. It's going to be an interesting game there. Pretty much gone chalk. Huff is the 5 seed. And Grimsley, their opponent, is the 4 seed. So that's going to be a tough one. They'll be on the road for this after starting the first 2 playoff games at home. So Huff High in the playoffs still, going up against Grimsley. If they make it, they'll go on to round 4, and then they're that much closer to the Final Four. But also, other than just high school football games going on, we have local sports beginning here with some of the Iredell Statesville schools that we've been covering. Lake Norman, South Iredell, North Iredell, West Iredell, their basketball seasons are beginning. Let's go ahead and run through some of these real quick. Number one, we have Statesville. We're going to start up in this area right here where Studio A is at. Statesville High School, they actually had a game earlier in November on the 4th against Tabernacle Christian. They won that game 54-53, but now they actually have until Monday until their next game. So as all these teams begin their season, because they already have that one played, we don't have a game for them on Friday, but they play Lincolnton on Monday, that game at 7 o'clock. Mooresville High School, down a little bit farther south of us, they begin their season today. Game number 1 is on the road. Concord Academy is who they'll be taking on. That game beginning at 6:30. And Lake Norman, they've had some pretty successful runs here with their teams. The football team making it to the playoffs, the soccer team being in the playoffs also. So the basketball team looking to also have a decent season themselves. They have their first game today on the road against Pine Lake Prep. That game beginning at 7:30. And then they actually also play tomorrow at 4 o'clock on the road again against Cannon School. So a little bit of a back-to-back to start the season here for the Lake Norman Wildcats. And, you know, that's not something too unusual, as they have a few throughout the year, it looks like. Actually, even when they get into the later games in the season, 2-3 games in a row, looks like it won't be uncommon for them. So they start the year off with a back-to-back. It's going to be a good way to get into the rhythm of things and, you know, start the season off on the right foot. West Iredell Warriors start their season today also. All these schools in this area are starting the season today. They're on the road. They'll be taking on Elkin at 8 o'clock sharp. So that's the later one of all these games that start. And then they got a little over a week off, actually 2 weeks off before their next game against Wilkes Central. So start the season and then a little bit of a break for West Iredell. Kind of weird scheduling to start the year, but they'll get into the groove of things, obviously, as we get into the new year. And even in December, they have a cluster of games that they'll be playing in consecutive order. The South Iredell Vikings season today beginning against none other than their rivals, North Iredell. That one is in North Iredell. That game starting at 7:30 in Olin, NC. Olin, NC, I should say. And, you know, a rivalry game to start the year is interesting because you get to see, you know, how your team stacks up early. But I like saving those games for the end of the year when you really build the chemistry and know what you're dealing with on a daily basis. But those are the basketball seasons that start today. We will be covering them throughout the season. We won't be shying away from basketball, especially in the high school area, just because we have to shout out these high school teams. I've been saying it over and over and over again. We got to talk about them because they are part of this community, and shouting them out is just a great way to stay involved here. Not only other high school sports going on, but we did have professional sports yesterday. I want to get into the Thursday night game. We're coming up on a break, so we're going to start that discussion now. But after that, we'll get into the weekend slate coming up. Panthers game this weekend, not looking promising as they will be taking on, the Dallas Cowboys. And, tough schedule the rest of the way for the Panthers. But on to the Thursday night football game because, man, oh, man, do we have some injuries to talk about. This was an ugly game. It felt weird because I thought it was going to be one of those, hey, this is a playoff preview right here. We could see these two teams in the playoffs together matching up, and who knows once we get then. But it didn't feel that way once the game started. It really felt like the Ravens just controlled the game start to finish, starting with that opening drive. First drive of the game, walking down the field and scoring a touchdown. That is an exclamation point to start the game. And obviously the huge, ginormous, humongous news out of this game is that quarterback Joe Burrow with a wrist ligament injury will be out for the remainder of the regular season. And it's just not fun to see because the Bengals are a team that have been competitive over the past few years, and that is awesome. We love seeing that. Burrow's been injury prone, though. We can't deny that. He's good, though. He hurt his calf earlier, and he was just now getting to a spot where he was playing Joe Burrow football, as I'll call it. But now, ooh, man, ligament injury in the wrist. This is going to be another year where he gets knocked out for the season. You got to remember he had that ACL injury early in his career. Injury prone question mark. We always talk about, and I want to get into an injury discussion here later in the show, especially after the hip drop tackle that we saw on Mark Andrews in that game, leading to an injury. But we do have to go to our commercial break. Stay tuned right here on the Scoreboard. We won't be going anywhere. It is Friday. It's a beautiful day out there. A lot of things to talk about going into the weekend. So stay tuned. We're back after this.
Keep it right here. There's more of the Scoreboard with Joe Berg on the way from the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Santa is coming to town. Come out to Birkdale Village from 2 to 7 p.m. this Saturday, the 18th. WSIC will be broadcasting live from the event. Activity Row, Birkdale on Ice, Beer Garden, dance performances, and the tree lighting parade. Dance away the end of the night with live music this Saturday. The fun begins at 2 p.m. and the tree lighting ceremony starts at 6. For more info, visit birkdalevillage.com. It is the last weekend of the season for the Davidson Farmers Market. Come out and enjoy the wonderful local vendors. Saturday from 9 until noon, the last weekend of the year for Davidson Farmers Market. For more info, visit davidsonfarmersmarket.org. Hit songs from the 1950s will have you wanting to boogie all night long. The Winter Dance Party this Saturday night, Charles Mack Citizen Center. Doors open at 6. For more info and to purchase tickets, visit ourtownstage.com. Mike Ferris and the Fortunate Few are coming to Kane Center for the Arts this Saturday. Mike Ferris is a Dove Award-winning artist. Americana, rock, blues, and gospel. Come enjoy a fun night of great music. Mike Ferris and the Fortunate Few this Saturday. Doors open at 7 p.m. kanearts.org. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
The Renaissance Festival is back Saturdays and Sundays now through November 19th. Save your dates. Don't miss the Renaissance Festival. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. There is a chance of showers as you head through the evening tonight. 30% chance through the overnight hours. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with a low around 51 degrees. Should be a nice weekend starting with Saturday. Sunny skies and a high temperature in the afternoon, getting up near 68 degrees. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
In life, we plan for many important things. Weddings, our children's education, retirement. A celebration of life is really no different. Planning and paying for your life celebration in advance will give you and your family valuable peace of mind. We'll help you take care of every detail with professionalism and compassion. We're Bunch Johnson Funeral Home. Find us at dignitymemorial.com.
Your home for non-stop Christmas music. Starting at 12 a.m. Thanksgiving Day.
Now, more of the Scoreboard with Joe Berg on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
All right, we are back here. You are listening to the Scoreboard, WSIC, 105.9, 100.7 FM, and always streaming video to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and our website, WSICnews.com, 704-873-1400. That is the phone number for the show, for the station. If you have something, anything at all that you'd like to talk about, we're here for you. I'll help you out. I'm telling you, we can talk it through. It's not a problem. All right, we're talking about football right now. There's a lot going on in the NFL, and I don't want to waste too much time on today's show because it is Thursday. It's a great day out here, and there's a lot to talk about with Thursday night football. So for the first thing that I want to say is, I thought we were finally going to have a really good Thursday night football game. I was like, all right, we got Bengals, Ravens. That's pretty awesome. Those two teams check out as good teams, and you know it's a battle of possible Super Bowl appearance teams. You know what I mean? But it didn't work out that way because the game started and the Ravens took over, and the Bengals really kind of just faltered for most of that game. Okay. I have a problem with the hip drop tackle. I do. And I know it's kind of a sore point right now with a lot of people because you're looking at it, and if you look at it and you say, it's a normal football tackle, okay. But also spearing with your helmet was a normal football tackle for a long time, you know? So don't use that argument. I don't like the idea of tackling somebody from behind and just dropping your weight on their ankles. Like that, it looks bad. And it looks like every time I see that play specifically, it just looks like there's no way that player is going to get up after this because his ankles get rolled up on. You see it with linemen all the time, although it's not technically a hip drop tackle. It's more of them saying, you know what, somebody rolled up on you and the ankle rolls, and you see how that affects them. They usually have a major injury. They have to be carted off. That's almost what happened with Mark Andrews. You know, he didn't have to get carted off, but he is now out for the season due to an ankle injury and a cracked fibia. It's pretty severe injury. I was hoping it was just a sprain or something like that, but no, not meant to be, unfortunately. That's one where you look at it and you say, this is avoidable. This is an avoidable injury. And it's just sad that we have to deal with stuff like this because now the conversation for the rest of the year into the offseason is going to be, why are we allowing players to tackle like that? Why are we allowing hip drop tackles in the NFL? Because all they do is cause injury. And I saw where an analyst was explaining that, hey, now that we have a name for this type of tackle, the NFL has ammunition to now go to their offseason meetings and say, hey, see this right here? We need to get rid of it. It needs to go away. And I don't blame them because I agree. I don't think that this is something that we should be seeing from the NFL, from players in the league. It's just it's not a good look. And I hope the NFL does something about it. Now, on the other side of that, you have the Joe Burrow injury where apparently he fell on his wrist and then the next pass play he made, he felt the pop. It's a devastating injury. The Bengals are a team that were looking to go back to a Super Bowl. I know they didn't get off to the start that they were hoping for, but that has a lot to do with the mobility and how Joe Burrow was feeling at the beginning of the year. But now you were rolling. You won a few games in a row. Tough loss last week, but now there's really no hope. I mean, do we know? Can you name the backup quarterback for me for the Bengals? Can you? Because I mean, obviously, I know who it is, but my point is, where do the Bengals go from here? I mean, Jake Browning is not going to bring them anywhere near the Super Bowl. At least I don't believe so. It would be amazing if he did. You know, that'd be a great story. But for the Bengals, you got to feel devastated. And when you look at the standings in the NFL and the playoff picture specifically, they were a team that were starting to knock on the door. Say, hey, look, we're here. They were 5-4. They were sitting in a playoff spot. And now this loss drops them to 500. They are without their number one quarterback. They have other injuries, obviously. Where do we go from here? Well, I just don't know where the Bengals go. I know they're not going to the playoffs at this point. It's a lost season. Kind of like what the Panthers are dealing with this year. And I do want to dedicate some time now to talk about the Panthers because it's ugly. And it's not going to get any prettier this weekend. They play the 6-3 Cowboys right here at Bank of America Stadium. There's really nothing to say anymore, you know? It's more of a, okay, we're going to just limp our way through the rest of the season. We're in a really bad spot right now. They traded their number one draft pick to the Bears, which we have been noting over and over again. There's a lot of rumblings about coaches being fired, and I just want to know, at what point do the Panthers start to worry that they are ruining Bryce Young? Because it's going to happen. They will ruin him. And I don't want to see the naysayers say, no, they're okay. They just need to revamp. They need a new coach, change the offense up a little bit. He'll be fine. Have you seen the bad habits that he's picked up this year? Sometimes it just looks like Bryce Young is walking around in the pocket, and then the pocket collapses, and it's like, oh my goodness, I should probably do something. Doesn't look like he's prepared. And some of the throws he's made this year are just bad decisions, bad decision making. The offseason this year is going to be brutal because we need to somehow watch the Panthers bring players in. How are you going to do that with a team that doesn't have any hope? That's what they are right now. They're a hopeless team. If we fire Frank Reich, which is totally in the cards, and I think that's the route they're going to go, I don't think that's the smart thing to do. But if they do fire him, you're probably going to have to promote internally because I don't know any other coaches who are going to say, you know what, let me go to Carolina. That looks like a good situation. Does that sound right? The 1-8 Panthers with a head coach and an owner not seeing eye to eye, that's a team that's in a good spot. Panthers really need to think about this trade that I've been talking about with Brian Burns. I don't understand why we didn't have 2 first-round picks for him when we could have gotten it. Then you trade up, it's just bad management all around at this point. And the more I think about it, the more I feel like we could have avoided this situation. 704-873-1400 is the phone number. If you have a question, comment, concern, are you worried? Are you not worried about the Panthers? Because at some point we got to stop worrying about what we're going to do in the future and just hope that it all comes together. I want to talk about this. 1-8. We all know the record. 1-8. Adam Thielen has 68 catches on 86 targets for 652 yards. That's pretty good. 4 touchdowns. That's not bad. Adam Thielen's having himself a nice year. Here are the stats of the second and third best receivers on the team. DJ Chark, 17 catches in 7 games played. He's missed a couple. 229 yards. Jonathan Mingo, he's played all 9 games so far. 23 catches, 220 yards. I don't want to get too angry here. But what is this? What are we doing? You're telling me that at this point in the season, we only have 1 receiver over 250 yards? It's week 11. And they have 1 receiver over 250 yards. 1. They don't have anybody. The offense is bad. The offensive line is bad. The receivers are not living up to their potential. DJ Chark was supposed to have a good year. Jonathan Mingo, he's a rookie, but he was a high draft pick. You would think that he can produce. Nope. No production from anybody except for the number 1 wide receiver, Adam Thielen. And he's 33 years old. I don't know how you revamp a team where you're missing your number 1 overall pick. Because the Panthers currently have the number 1 overall pick. We'll continue talking about the Panthers on the other side of the break because there's more that I need to get to and there's more that I need to vent about today. It's a venting day. It's Friday vent day. Call in if you have to vent. 704-873-1400. Don't go anywhere. We're back after this.
More of The Scoreboard with Joe Berg is coming up on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Hi, it's Kathy, General Manager at Stretch Zone. Practitioner-assisted stretching is beneficial to everyone. At Stretch Zone, we customize our programs to meet our clients' needs. We are located at 20545 Torrance Chapel Road in Cornelius and 591 River Highway in Mooresville. Schedule your free stretch today at Stretch Zone Mooresville and Cornelius.
Mention you heard about Stretch Zone on WSIC and get an additional free stretch with your program.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. There is a chance of showers as you head through the evening tonight, 30% chance through the overnight hours. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with a low around 51 degrees. Should be a nice weekend starting with Saturday. Sunny skies and a high temperature in the afternoon, getting up near 68 degrees. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Hello, friends. This is Dwight with Gullion's Christian Supply and Homeschool Headquarters, inviting you to join the Gullion family and staff in praising the Lord for 30 years of providing you with trustworthy and inspiring books, Bibles, music, gifts, and supplies. We so appreciate your support and friendship over all these years. With locations in King and Statesville, North Carolina, visit us again soon for encouraging fellowship and essential provisions for your Christian life. Gullion's Christian Supply and Homeschool Headquarters, where the Bible stands.
Fall is here, and Little Shavers has the supplies you need. Wheat straw, pine needle, grass seed, pelletized line, landscape edging, and railroad cross ties. Got a deck that needs staining? Little Shavers has PPG paints and stains at prices you can afford. Fall is a great time to replace your furnace filters at Little Shavers. Get the products you need at reasonable prices from Little Shavers, 3301 Salisbury Road in Statesville. Quality Car Care is your local Toyota specialist and a licensed NC inspection station. Plus, find a huge selection of quality pre-owned cars at QualityCarCareStatesville.com or call 704-871-2535.
Tilly Harley-Davidson is simply the best, and their service department is second to none. Right now, 1K, 5K, and 10K M8 service is only $351.25 plus tax, including Sin 3 and heavy gear oil. Stop by to schedule your next service or online at TillyHD.com. Be road ready with Tilly of Statesville.
Todd Starnes here. Stay on top of the local elections by listening to WSIC. Great folks like Senator Vicky Sawyer, Representative Jeff McNeely, and join me for national election coverage weekdays noon to 3 on WSIC.
While the Panthers struggle to find their way this season, they'll be hosting a Dallas Cowboys team coming to Charlotte at the top of their game. I'm Jim Zoki with a Panthers update after this.
Great play. Let's roll back the replay. Panthers mascot Sir Purr is on the Bank of America app.
He can't keep his paws off that phone.
Bank of America's digital tools are so impressive, Carolina Panthers fans just can't stop banking. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/can'tstopbanking.
You must download the latest version of the mobile banking app, only available on select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. Terms and conditions apply. Member FDIC.
The 1-8 Panthers host the 6-3 Cowboys on Sunday. Dallas is rolling with the second highest scoring offense in the NFL at nearly 30 points per game. Quarterback Dak Prescott is completing 71% of his throws with 17 touchdown passes so far. Panthers linebacker Frankie Luvu on containing the Dallas quarterback.
You know, he can run, and especially when he's on the move. Eyes downfield, but also making them leakage yardage. So definitely in the red zone, just keeping him in that pocket. Make it a phone booth for him and have us cover and let them not score at the end of the day. So big picture, just have him in the phone booth and just let him play from there and not let him out.
Defensively, the Cowboys have scored 4 touchdowns, and they have the second-best pass defense in yardage given up. Panthers coach Frank Reich says it begins up front with the pressure Dallas brings, including Micah Parsons with 7.5 quarterback sacks so far.
This front we're playing is pretty dynamic. Obviously Micah Parsons is a unique player. Lawrence is still playing at a really high level. Fowler, the whole crew. Protection is an emphasis all the time, especially this week against one of the better pass rushes.
Dallas leads the all-time series 10-3 in the regular season. I'm Jim Zoki on the Carolina Panthers Radio Network, presented by Morris Jenkins.
Talk sports with Joe Berg. Call 844-STUDIO-4. It's The Scoreboard on the new 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
We're back. You're listening to The Scoreboard here on WSIC 105.9, 100.7 FM. Oh, it is a beautiful, beautiful Friday out there. Can't get more excited for the weekend, to be honest with you, because, well, there's a lot of sports going on over the weekend. High school football tonight, high school basketball tonight, college football tomorrow, NFL on Sunday and on Monday night. Hockey, man, what else is there? You know, what are we missing? I don't think we're really missing anything. But I do need to change gears a little bit here. Not trying to make a pun. We're not about to talk NASCAR. We are going to talk about baseball, though. The Shohei Ohtani watch. We have been talking about the MLB awards so far in the 2023 season. And, well, we have an update as to who has won which award, and it's getting a little bit more predictable, to be honest with you, because unanimously, Shohei Ohtani won the MVP. Was there any question? So Ohtani wins the MVP, and now we can turn our attention to what he's doing this offseason. Now, I saw a report that says he's not narrowed it down, but he has 3 teams on his radar. And look, if we're going to talk baseball in the offseason this year, it's going to be about Shohei Ohtani. He is like the driving force in baseball right now. Dodgers, Red Sox, and Rangers. Those were the 3 teams that I saw Ohtani was interested in. Now, I'm not saying that he's only interested in those 3 teams because, well, we've heard reports about San Francisco, New York, the Rays. I've even heard the Rays being thrown around a couple of times. So we don't really know. And the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays were somebody that I saw is the actual dark horse of dark horses is the wording and phrasing that was used that I saw. Dark horse of dark horses. That's something. How about that? So Ohtani wins the MVP unanimously. And now we can turn our attention. Here is what I think is going to happen. I think he goes to the Dodgers. I think it's that simple. Big name, big team, winning, playing in the playoffs. They might not have won it all last year. They might have had a disappointing year, but they are winning. And I think that is more important to Shohei at this point than location. Now, when he first came to the U.S., it was all about location. He wanted to be on the West Coast because he wanted people in Japan to be able to have a better chance at seeing his games. Well, I think he got a taste of what it's like to be on a really bad MLB baseball team, Major League Baseball team, I should say. And now he just wants to win. And I don't blame him. One of the best players in MLB, and you haven't made the playoffs? Now, we've shamed the Angels as much as we want to shame them for that because not only is Ohtani not making playoffs, but Trout isn't either. But now coming off of another MVP that was unanimous, I'm kind of surprised he won it. But nonetheless, is he projecting his contract for the offseason back into that $600 million range that we were talking about? I still don't think so. I don't think it's going to be that easy for him just because, well, he's not going to be pitching. And if you're going to spend that much money on a two-way player, you're going to want him to be his good two-way player. So we'll continue to monitor that. Also, we got to talk about Las Vegas. The city of Las Vegas as a whole. I don't know what this craze is right now to bring sports to Las Vegas out of nowhere. You know, first it was the Golden Knights 6 years ago. Then it was the Raiders. Now you have Formula One going there. And now it is officially official. The Oakland Athletics will no longer be the Oakland Athletics. They will be the Las Vegas Athletics. The owners have voted unanimously to approve the move from Oakland to Las Vegas for the A's. I'm going to compare this to Formula One. Formula One's going to Vegas this year. It's been promoted a lot. They're there now. Me and Justin in the morning during his show, when I talked to him, have talked about how they're kind of tearing up the strip to get this done. They're putting stands in fountains. They're draining water, cutting down trees. And practice for the first time was yesterday for Formula One. And 10 minutes into the session, it had to be ended. Why? Because there was a pothole that came up and destroyed one of the race cars. That is not a joke. A Formula One car went over a pothole. The pothole came up. It damaged the engine. It damaged the chassis, the gearbox, everything. And the practice had to be canceled. The track itself doesn't look good, to be honest with you. I thought it would be a little bit more appealing, but it doesn't look good. It's not visually appealing. I'm starting to get concerned. The hope was there. The promise was there. I was excited, but now, I'm sorry to say this, but I think it was officially safe to say that this was a cash grab. They didn't try as hard as they could. All they did was market. And then when you throw into that equation ticket prices and how now, a few days before the race, you can get in for a good price and hotel fare is the same as it is normally. Now you have the A's coming into town. We're hearing talks about a basketball team coming to town. It's a cash grab. And a lot of these leagues are starting to only worry about that. I'm slightly concerned because Las Vegas is the center of gambling in the U.S. And now that sports betting is legal in a lot of places, we're starting to hear so many rumblings of, well, you know why that game ended that way? Because that's what Vegas wants. That's what Vegas wants. If Vegas becomes the heart of sports in the U.S., it's going to be very hard to take it seriously. If a basketball team comes to Vegas, I don't think the NBA wants any more gambling controversies with their league. I think the referee was Tim Donahue, I believe that was his name, who officiated games differently in order to try and get a certain result. When you look at the NFL season this year, the officiating has been terrible. Just look at the Thursday night game, the pass interference that were called, weren't called. Not a well-officiated game. And the rhetoric is, this is what Vegas wants. This is what Vegas wants the result to be. Well, did you see where the money was placed? We are dangerously close to sports no longer being sports and just being thought of as something to, I don't know, pass time, I guess. I've heard of a lot of people no longer watching sports, not only this year, but a few years ago too. Not because of any political controversies that come up in sports, but because of gambling. You can't watch a game, football, baseball, hockey, anything, without 15 gambling commercials coming on. It's a dangerous spot that these sports leagues are in, and they really need to be careful because they don't want to compromise the integrity of their leagues. One more segment here today on this Friday. We'll wrap it up nice and pretty with a bow. Stay tuned on the Scoreboard. We'll be right back.
More of The Scoreboard with Joe Berg is coming up on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Santa is coming to town. Come out to Birkdale Village from 2 to 7 p.m. this Saturday, the 18th. WSIC will be broadcasting live from the event. Activity Row, Birkdale on Ice, beer garden, dance performances, and the tree lighting parade. Dance away the end of the night with live music this Saturday. The fun begins at 2 p.m. and the tree lighting ceremony starts at 6. For more info, visit birkdalevillage.com. It is the last weekend of the season for the Davidson Farmers Market. Come out and enjoy the wonderful local vendors. Saturday from 9 until noon, the last weekend of the year for Davidson Farmers Market. For more info, visit davidsonfarmersmarket.org. Hit songs from the 1950s will have you wanting to boogie all night long. The Winter Dance Party this Saturday night, Charles Mack Citizen Center. Doors open at 6. For more info and to purchase tickets, visit ourtownstage.com. Mike Ferris and the Fortunate Few are coming to Kane Center for the Arts this Saturday. Mike Ferris is a Dove Award-winning artist. Americana, rock, blues, and gospel. Come enjoy a fun night of great music. Mike Ferris and the Fortunate Few this Saturday. Doors open at 7 p.m. kanearts.org. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
The Renaissance Festival is back Saturdays and Sundays now through November 19th. A non-stop outdoor family adventure. Huzzah! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. There is a chance of showers as you head through the evening tonight, 30% chance through the overnight hours. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with a low around 51 degrees. Should be a nice weekend starting with Saturday. Sunny skies and a high temperature in the afternoon, getting up near 68 degrees. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Cakes and cookies, toys and gifts.
It's the shopping event of the season, the Southern Christmas Show, November 9th through 19th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Naughty or Nice, explore a nautical-inspired entrance filled with coastal Christmas charm. Plus, shop hundreds of booths to find one-of-a-kind gifts for everyone on your list. Buy tickets at southernChristmasShow.com. Online tickets courtesy of Craft Body Scan.
Let's go to the Southern Christmas Show.
Santa's coming.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid. Merry Christmas.
Non-stop Christmas music, starting at 12 a.m. on Thanksgiving Day.
It's The Scoreboard with your host, Sports Director Joe Berg, on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Final segment here. It is Friday. We are feeling good. 704-873-1400. That is the phone number. If you have something you'd like to talk about, I don't care what it is. We can talk about it here. Sports, not sports. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. Let's chat. Got about 10 minutes left to get your phone calls in. About 10 minutes before we send the station into the weekend with all your local programming being done. Man, it was a good week. It was a good week. And next week's Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving on Thursday. So in case, I don't even know if this has been really like talked about by the other show host on the station. But Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving will be Christmas music on WSIC. And I'm trying as hard as I can to tell Justin Kazepis, you know him, and Ben Daniels, our director of the sensory, that all the show hosts need to come in and record a Christmas song. I think they have to. It's only right. You know, we need to get Justin singing like Jingle Bells or something like that. I don't know. I thought it'd be nice. You know, you listen to the station all the time. You know our voices. Why not hear our terrible singing too? I know nobody wants to hear that, but I thought it'd be funny. So you'll be hearing Christmas music, which means we won't be able to talk about the Black Friday game for the first time. You know, we won't be talking about that on Black Friday. We'll have Thanksgiving football. And then after that, we're getting awfully close to Saturday NFL games. We also have weeks where we're going to have 2 Monday night games again. Hate it. Think it's a terrible idea, but, you know, it is what it is. The NFL waits for no one, and the NFL cares about only themselves. They care about no one. So let's wrap things up nice and pretty and head on into the weekend. I do have an announcement. Not an announcement, but more of an update on the Michigan scandal. Harbaugh has accepted his penalties, and he's not really going to do anything now. So I guess it's over. That's it. Just like that. And I really think all this comes down to is Michigan knew they were in the wrong. They did. But they were just hoping that nothing would happen Big Ten-wise. No decisions from the conference until after the NCAA investigation. Not to be, though. So Harbaugh sidelined. He won't be there. If Michigan wins this weekend, that's their 1,000th program win. Or something like that. 1,000, 2,000. Harbaugh won't be there. Also, Draymond Green in the NBA. I know we haven't talked too much NBA yet, but we're in the middle of football season. It is football only until February, and then right after that, it's NASCAR. So, basketball takes a backseat. Draymond Green was suspended for 5 games. 5 games for his involvement in the scuffle where he put Rudy Gobert in a headlock. Now, you might remember that name, Rudy Gobert. He's the guy in 2020 when, like, a day before the entire country shut down for COVID, he was in the press conference touching all the microphones, making light of it. Man, what a guy. Anyway, 5 games for Draymond. I think the NBA has had enough of his antics. I really do. I know a lot of fans have had enough of his antics. He's trying to be somebody he's not. And that's, it's unfortunate because when Draymond just plays, he's a good player. He really is. But when he tries to be an enforcer, that's when we see problems. Remember when they blew that 3-1 lead to Cleveland? What started that? Draymond getting angry, getting suspended. Now here we are, early in the regular season. I mean, we're barely 10 games in, and Draymond already got himself suspended. The NBA is sick and tired of it. We are sick and tired of it. Nobody likes watching Draymond Green throw fits on the court and put players in headlocks. We don't want to see that. It's not hockey. Although sometimes I do wish these leagues officiated like it was a hockey game. It would be a lot more entertaining if all of a sudden, Bryce Young drops his helmet with the cornerback for the Cowboys this year. That'd be wild. Throw some fists, sit down for 2 minutes, come back in the game. Anyway, I digress. The Warriors lost again, 128-109 to the Oklahoma City Thunder. And things don't look good for them. The Warrior dynasty is over. Somehow they won that championship a couple of years ago. Don't know how. They got hot at the right time and got it done. They were a good team during the regular season, though. I can't fault them for that. But the dynasty is over. And they're living in the dying days of it. And do you look forward here? It is the hardest thing to do in sports, is look ahead of what's going to happen after this dynasty ends. The most recent dynasty in sports that we had, the Patriots, they did not look to the future very much. They said, you know what? We have Tom Brady, best quarterback in the world. We don't need weapons because he does it all himself. And now they have Mac Jones, who has no weapons, unable to complete passes, gets benched for the final drive of the game. So where do the Warriors go from here? Well, I think you got to start with getting rid of Draymond. Get some assets for him. Ship him off somewhere let him go to Memphis. Terrible idea. Him and Ja Morant on the same team. Let him go play in Memphis. We have NCAA football also on Saturday. We're going to try and talk about some of these games before we wrap up the end of the show. Michigan taking on Maryland, as we talked about. That is a noon game. Oklahoma taking on BYU. We got a Pac-12 matchup of ranked teams, Utah and Arizona. The 3:30 game on CBS, Georgia, the number 1 seed, taking on Tennessee, the number 18 seed. That's an interesting one. I've been saying Georgia doesn't seem like the real deal to me. I don't know what it is. Something about watching Georgia plays just makes me go, are they really this good, or are they getting lucky? Because they really haven't impressed me too much. Wake Forest and Notre Dame, we got North Carolina taking on Clemson. And then as we head later in the day, a very good game at 7:30. Number 5, Washington. Number 11, Oregon State. The Pac-12 surprises me. It just makes me laugh, honestly, that a conference can disband pretty much. Go away and cease to exist. Schools getting scooped up by other conferences. But the Pac-12 has 5 ranked teams in it. 5. It is currently the best conference in college football. I don't think that is an overreaction. The Big Ten is good. They don't have 5 ranked teams. The Big 12 has 5 ranked teams, but come on. Kansas is 25. They're barely in. And the SEC, well, is it kosher to say that the SEC has had a down year? I think so. They got Georgia in the top 5. That's it. Alabama 8, Missouri 9, but still, it's a down year. I expect like 10 teams, 15 teams. A little bit of an exaggeration. But those are some of the games that we have this weekend in college football. I am going to be keeping an eye on that Georgia game. I know I've talked about it time and time again. Something about that team just doesn't seem like it's, and eventually it's going to blow up. I'm telling, and I hope it happens. I hope it happens before the college football playoff, because I'd like to see what happens to the rankings if a 1 seed loses late in the college football year. It would be interesting. But the best game of the weekend definitely got to be Washington taking on Oregon State. Best game of the NFL season right now, or of the weekend in the NFL, you're going to have to wait till Monday night, because on Monday night, we have a great one. The Eagles taking on the Chiefs. I personally don't watch the actual Monday night broadcast usually. If there is the alternate broadcast, as we dub the Manning cast, I watch that. It is comedy for hours. You know, last week with the Broncos on Monday night, Peyton was saying we and things like that, trying to say that he was part of the Broncos. And you got Eli going, Peyton, it's been 8 years. Oh, man, those are just, that is the broadcast to watch. And I wonder if we see something of the sorts like that pop up once Travis and Jason Kelsey are out of the league. They seem to be a hot commodity right now. Maybe a Sunday night brothers cast, Thursday night brother cast, something like that. We'll see. We're heading into the weekend. It was a good week. Have a good one, everyone. I'll see you next time. You're listening to WSIC. See ya.